The Google question is, what is the most popular guitar brand? I grew up in a world of Gibson and Fender. It was really as simple as that. You either were a Gibson player or a Fender player, and that's still true today if you look at it from the point of view of the pickups. After all, Fender is famous for single coil pickups and Gibson for humbuckers, and that really does still divide the electric guitar world. You're either a single coil player or you're a humbucker player, and of course lots of guitarists have both. But you approach the guitar differently with single coils than you do with humbuckers. In today's world, there are many wonderful guitar brands that compete with Gibson and Fender, and there are many that leave them in the dust as far as quality and workmanship goes. Instead of looking at guitars as brands, you really should look at them as countries. Guitars are built in America, Japan, Korea, Indonesia, and China. Those 5 countries are the biggies. And it really does go in that order. The best ones are made in America, although not by Gibson or Fender. And the second best ones are made in Japan. The third best ones are made in South Korea. The fourth best ones are made in Indonesia. And the fifth best ones are made in China. This is a generalization, and there are exceptions. Eastman guitars made in China, for example, are among the best guitars manufactured in the world. But as a rule, as we're talking about your run-of-the-mill $200, $500, $1,000 guitar purchase, these are the countries where you should be looking. Brands these days often refers to a company that's on paper only. They have no factories, they don't build guitars, they don't have employees who make guitars. They farm out the manufacturing to major factories in Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, and China. And there are hundreds of those companies around. My beloved Legator, or Legator as some would say, is the best guitar I've ever owned, better than any Gibson or Fender by a long shot, and it was made in Korea. So in that sense, there are many guitar brand names that come out of the same factories as other guitar brand names. And it really depends on price point and which country you're shopping in as far as how much bang you get for your buck. So shop style, shop color, shop features, then shop in the country that you can afford the most. China's the cheapest, then Indonesia, then Korea, then Japan, finally the United States. Gibson and Fender are legendary brands that were once great. But at this point of the game, it's really just the brand experience that they're selling, not the quality of the product. Newer companies that are hungry for market share are giving you more quality for your dollar, like polished fret ends and ebony fretboards and better pickups, things like that. So my advice to anyone buying a guitar is to remember that if you have your heart set on a Fender or a Gibson, you should buy it. But know that you're buying the brand experience, the name on the headstock, and that you're not necessarily getting the best guitar for that same money. That's almost never going to be the case with Gibson or Fender ever again, or really many of the other brand names that have been famous for a long time. Paul Reed Smith probably the exception to this rule. So if you want those brand experiences, go right ahead. Everybody should have it. But if you're looking for the best guitar for the money, go color, style, specs, and price point, and country of origin.